What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Authentically RGBTV, better known as AABTV. And I am your girl, Audrey B. Welcome back, y'all. Happy New Year. Y'all, I know I said I was going to make videos over the winter break, but your girl really did nothing. And I was happy about that. But I did watch a lot of movies, so I may make a video about that. But I want to just start off by saying again, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that these first few days of 2026 are going well. And yes, I am not in the studio, but I'm on my break, so why not talk about my favorite show, your favorite show, America's favorite show, Abbott Elementary. So let's get into last night's episode, shall we? So you guys, remember from last episode, I believe it's episode 8, all the things that was happening with the winter break festivities and the last day of school. So all things went crazy at Abbott, and the the furnace messed up, and by the end of the episode we was looking at a abandoned mall, and that is now going to be the setting for Abbott Elementary until the building gets fixed and remodeled. And so that's what the episode opens up about. Everybody's outside. They came back early from their break, which I would have been hated, but they came back early from their break, and they are outside talking to the guy from the district. I can never remember his name, but he's the one that dates Janine's friend. So he's explaining to them, this is what's going to be going on. Ava found the building, and y'all got to do what y'all got to do to make it work. And when Abbott Elementary is going to open again, they don't know. So they go in there, and it's a mess. Like, can you actually imagine a school full of elementary and middle school students being held in an abandoned mall with all the entrances, all the spaces to run and hide and get lost, injuries? Like, I was just like, oh, this is going to be horrible. They had all the desks in the middle of the floor, and everybody was just like, what the heck have we gotten ourselves into? Like, Ava, is this the best you could do? And according to Ava, it was. So there was a teacher who was just like, I'm done. Janice, she was out. And so everybody was trying to be so positive, and in the midst of, everybody just looking and looking at the surroundings, Dom, who is the new hire, right? He's the young teacher. He was just like, I'm trying to be positive, but this is a lot. Like, and even Greg told him, like, you have had a wild first year as a teacher, but hang in there. Gave him the good old speech, like, hang in there, you got this, you're gonna do great. And of course, we know Janine, she's trying to be, positive, and she wants to bring Abbott to the mall, basically. And she wants, to bring that magic of Abbott to the mall to make it feel like the actual school building. And everybody was just like, whatever, we gotta make it do what it do. Meantime, Melissa's over here reminiscing when her and her crew used to run the mall, and how they was the double D's and all this other stuff. And Jacob was having like these little, conversations with Melissa throughout the episode, and he was just like, are you never gonna care about anything that I've ever done in my life? She was like, huh? And he said something, I thought it said a gigolo, but is it a juggalo? I don't know. Y'all help me out. And I'm like, Janine, I'm black, I don't know what that is. Where is Ava in all of this? Ava is with her man setting up Santa workshop, doing absolutely whatever Ava wants to do as usual. And all the teachers are banding together to, again, make it work. They're walking around trying to decide what their classrooms are going to be. They got built, Circuit Cities, Old Journeys, Claire's, whatever you can think of that was in the mall. Just imagine teachers in their big windows. Some of the windows was broken out, like, just so much stuff. And I'm just like, this is insane. And like I said, Janine, she wanted to bring back, the magic of Abbott. So she wanted to make it look like it, make it feel like it. And so she was so excited about that. And she told Barb that, she showed Barb that she had the fake windows that she was going to post up. And Barb was just like, no, no, none of this is going to work. And mind you, Barb was very adamant that it was gonna, all of this was gonna work, because in 1996 she dealt with something similar, and you know, she's an OG teacher, she's a vet in the game, and she's like, we got this. And everybody else is like, they were listening to her, but they really weren't listening to her. And once everybody, you know, finally picked where their classrooms are gonna be, they worked together, got it all set up, the kids came. And when the kids came, they realized they done messed up. Why? Because them kids was all over the place. I said, can you imagine a bunch of kindergarten through 8th grade students running through a mall? These kids was on animal and what is those electric animals that they got in the malls? They done found. They are coming in every entrance. They're up and down the steps. They're throwing footballs. It's just a cluster, you know, and it's chaos. And everybody's just like, Ava, did you not tell the parents like a specific place for everybody to be dropped off? It's so many entrances, it's so many exits, like everybody's just looking around, the kids are going crazy. I was just like, oh God. And Ava was like, oh no, what did we do? But yeah, y'all, it was a mess. I was just like, can you imagine little itty bitty, the first few weeks of school, coming back from a break, summer or winter or spring, is hell. It's hell. And you gotta redo everything, because them kids been gone. They ain't thought about a rule, they ain't thought about a regulation, they ain't thought about a line, they ain't thought about a quiet voice. Them kids, I would have been like Janice. All right, y'all, so I guess after all of that, everybody was able to find their students and get them where they needed to be. Everybody was in their classrooms, and the teachers were basically giving this like pep talk and this rundown of how things were gonna go. But they didn't take into account the different things like having to go to the bathroom, children getting lost because they're unfamiliar, and again, it's a big old mall. And so that became a problem. That became an issue. So one of the girls in Janine's class had to go to the bathroom. So she's like, you know what? Do you remember where it is? And she's like, no. So then Janine was like, okay, everybody, let's just go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. It's a long line. Why? Because the toilets are too high for the kindergartens in Barbara's class. So she has to pick up each one of her students, which is probably about 25, 26, and put them on the toilet. Then it's a long line. They've been there for 45 minutes. It's taking forever. Mr. Johnson wants to try to come and say he's next in the bathroom. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's so many things that they did not think of and how it can be ran. They just went and just did what they could do. But they were trying. I can't say that. They were really, really trying. So then we see that they are in Dom's classroom, and Dom's classroom is out of control. He has like older grades, I believe. I don't know if it's middle school or it could be 5th grade, I don't know, but his class is giving him the blues. Like, they're not listening to him. He doesn't have no control over them. And he had, you know, the talk with Greg, and Greg is trying to encourage him, but Greg is like sitting back watching, and he's like, you know what you need to do? You need to be stern. So then he puts on that like stern voice, I guess, that deep voice, and the kids got together real quick. So Dom was just like, okay. But you could tell like he was overwhelmed, he was overstimulated, and them kids was really playing in his face. But again, like I said, Greg assured Dom that he was doing good and he's gonna be good. And even though he was like, hey, I had to lie, but that's what we got to do to make it through. And I was like, you're right about that. So by this time, everybody's just overwhelmed. Everybody's tired. They're in this old restaurant, which they done turned into the teacher's lounge. And then in comes Mr. Johnson, and he's like, we got an emergency. Come on. So then everybody's like, oh my gosh. So then Ava's like, get up. Homegirl, don't get up. Tell everybody else to go. She gonna sit down and say, I don't do emergencies. I said, it's a new year, Ava. What how you ain't doing what you're supposed to do? But anyways, the kids are in what they have made into the cafeteria, and they are pissed about the lunches. And I was like, ew. They looked gross. Look like soggy tissue, soggy vegetables, soggy chicken. That stuff looks gross. And I work in elementary school, and they food looked better than that. But again, in the beginning, the guy from the district was like, we're gonna have the best lunches for y'all, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. No. And then so they're in there going crazy. They're like, ew, this is nasty, oh my god, what kind of lunch is this, I want to go home, like going crazy. So all the teachers are trying to get them to basically like chill out, calm down. And we see Janine over there trying to tell them to make the best of it, trying to tell them everybody's going to be fine. You know, the lunches traveled further than normal because they had to come all the way to the mall instead of going to the actual school. And then there were 2 students who were in Dom's class who ended up being found by another teacher that brought them to Dom. And he's like, we found these 2 trying to leave. And then he's like, oh, really? And then he's getting on them. But then they get back with him again, playing in that man's face. Y'all, if you're a teacher, you know, these kids be talking back. And it ain't even got to be no teacher. Y'all know how these kids are these days. But they was talking to him and was like, this ain't no school. This ain't no school. This is a fake school. And we don't got to listen to you. And you ain't our teacher. This ain't no school anyway. We can do whatever we want to. Throwing the lunches, kicking stuff. Then a riot, not a riot, but like a whole chant. Fake school, fake school. I said, what is going to come of this? These kids are bad as hell. So at this point, Dom is over it. He's like, look, I'm appreciative of everybody's help. I'm appreciative of them coming to my rescue and encouraging me and you know, just letting them, you know, letting me vent. But something's got to give. And he eventually got the hang of it though. But his students were trying him. So after all this craziness and chaos in the cafeteria, Barb took control. Like I said in the beginning, she said that she'd been through something similar and she made it. She's an OG teacher. She's a vet in the game. So she was just like, you know what, y'all? We're not going to let this defeat us. We're going to pull our big girl and boy panties up and underwear up, boxer briefs, whatever you wear. We're going to take control of this. This is not Abbott. She said, Janine, I appreciate your positivity, but this is not Abbott, and nor will it ever be Abbott. It's a mall. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the best of this transition. And we're not going to let this bring us down. We're not going to let these kids get under our skin. We're going to take control just like we would at Abbott, and we're going to make it work. And Ava was like, I know that's right, Barb. And so then she started pointing out to different people what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. And she even gave Ava a 1-2 because she was like, you're not going to sit and not do nothing. You're going to be manning the front door. You're going to do what you need to do, not sit in some Santa workshop. And she was like, ugh. And I said, yeah, reality check. Get it together, Ava. You the principal. Get it together. And like I said, she was basically letting them know, like, transitions are hard, which they are, but don't let it defeat you. And so as she's saying this, then we see like this montage of everybody finally settling in even more than they did before. And Janine is just basically saying like, we're going to embrace the new, you know, Barbara's right. This is not Abbott, but I can still, you know, have that feel and that love and that warmth there. I can't turn it into Abbott. It will never be that. She was like, but we can embrace the new and adjust. And like I said, Dom, he was happy that the teachers chipped in and helped him to calm down, and he's gonna stay. He got his footing, and he was stern in his own way, according to Greg, because Greg was in the background peeping him get on his class, and it's like, y'all gonna respect me. At the end of the day, he did what he had to do. And they're bringing the Abbott magic to the new location. And then at the end, Ava's in her office. Her and her boo done set it up. He done got the Wi-Fi and all that stuff hooked up. And she's walking around with this Santa outfit on. Talking to her secretary, Daya, telling her to put that elf hat on, y'all, because she had them pointy shoes on. I said, no, she did not clown that lady's shoes like that. And you know what Daya said? Daya said, you know what? I've had enough. I quit. And then she said, no, I don't quit. I'm taking my vacation days. Deuces. I said, I know that's right, because Ava be getting on her last nerve. But y'all, she gave her the middle finger through the window. I said, oh, God, they are a mess. A complete and total mess. But I'm so happy they're back. Yeah, so that was the quick little rundown, y'all. Quick little into of last night's episode. Are y'all feeling the mall? Do y'all think it's gonna be some more crazy things going on in the mall? It was rain coming down inside the mall. They had buckets, they had all type of sounds going on. Like, no telling what's gonna happen with this mall situation or how long Abbott will be shut down. But like I said, I'm just glad the show is back. How do y'all feel about the episode last night? Let me know in the comments. And also, you guys, what was Jacob saying that he used to be? A gigolo? A gigolo? Something. It started with a J because I had the captions on. Either way, what was that and what is that? But yeah, that was the episode, y'all. I'm going to finish scarfing down my lunch real quick so I can get back into this classroom, y'all. These kids are crazy. Send help, okay? All right, y'all, I'm gonna get off here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I do. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another recap of Abbott Elementary. Peace.